Hello and welcome back for another video of Formula 1 Challenge 1995. Today is round 5 of the season, the Monaco Grand Prix, one of the jewels of the calendar and my personal favorite. So I have high expectations for this one. However, it's worth mentioning that even in the original game, the AI tends to be, well, a bit overly aggressive on this track, which can easily lead to a carnage. So that's what I'm expecting as well. So probably about 10 finishers or even less. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. Have a look at the standings. We're on P3 currently with Schumacher leading, followed by Coulthard. And behind us is Hill and Herbert, and also Frentzen, who's getting good results in this season, which GG's for him. Absolutely, he's doing a great job in the Sauber. And then Häkkinen, Berger, Bouillon, Alesi, Blundell, Panis, Lamy, Barrichello, Irvine, Brundle, Morbidelli, Salo, Katayama, Diniz, Badoer, Inoue, Montermini, Gasho, Verstappen and Moreno. And here's the constructor standings. We're on P3 as well, the same amount of points as Sauber, so that may be a tough fight, and I'm pretty sure at some point even McLaren will join in. But yeah, we'll see about that. So without further ado, let's just head over to the qualifying and see where we end up on the grid. Let's go. And here we are with our qualifying lap. I'm expecting a really good result here. As I mentioned, it's my personal favorite track, so it would be nice to get a good starting position, especially because of the difficulty of the overtakes on this track. As you can see, there is barely enough space to have one car, let alone two next to each other. Slow corner here, and here you can see the slowest corner of Formula 1 with one wheel in the air, going a bit wide here, almost scratching the rail. Here's the legendary tunnel. We go through here full speed, and the chicane, bit of a cut here, and just move towards the swimming pool. Very tricky. So far it looks to be a good time. Almost there. Let's see where this is gonna take us. 125, and as you can see, it's P1. And on P2 we have Bouillon, followed by Häkkinen, Herbert, Brundle, Alesi, Salo, Lamy, Montermini, Berger, Irvine, Panis, Michael Schumacher only 13th, Badoer, Barrichello, our teammate Verstappen 16th, not a bad result from him, Coulthard only 17th, Frentzen 18th, Gasho 19th. And here we are on the grid, and as you can see, Michael Schumacher starts first, followed by Alesi, and we're only P3. So what actually happened here is, as soon as I hit next session, the game just put Alesi and Schumacher in front of us. So yeah, no idea what happened there, but we'll take this. And Bouillon starts from 4th position, followed by Häkkinen, Herbert, Frentzen in P7, Brundle. I think that's the first time he out-qualified Panis in the other Ligier. Salo P9, Lamy P10, Montermini P11 in the Pacific. Awesome result from him. Berger in the other Ferrari, quite down the grid. Irvine P13, Panis P14, Badoer P15, still not a bad result from a Minardi. Barrichello P16. Here comes our teammate Verstappen P17. Coulthard P18. Gasho P19. Menzel P20. However, on the table you can still see Blundell, Morbidelli P21, Inoue P22, Damon Hill on P23. Actually, if you go back and look at the table, he doesn't have a time, so he's supposed to be last, but the game just gave him a time. Katayama P24, Diniz P25, and Moreno closing the grid on P26. So here we are, instead of our P1, we're starting from P3. And the lights go out and the race is on. We have a good start and Alesi is already behind us. We try to go for the dive here, but there is not enough space to take the P1 from Schumacher. So we just go after him, try to chase him down and wait for an opening. Just follow him through the casino. A bit of a bumpy road here. And just go towards the hairpin. We're certainly not gonna try a move here because that's gonna end up in catastrophe. And you probably didn't hear it, but a couple of cars are already out of the race due to an accident at the start, which happens quite a lot here. So the AI is already going crazy. And yeah, well, we're not expecting a lot of finishers here. And we're right behind Schumacher, and he hits the wall, and we're up to P1. And yeah, at this point I think we can just stick to this and go all the way and win the race, because it's just next to impossible to do any overtakes on this track. And at this point I really thought that it was just a mistake made by Schumacher that got him to the wall and P1 for us. So at this point I decided to go a little bit slower and just pay attention. So here you can see us in the tunnel in lap 2. Schumacher is still not far behind us. And we're going to have a look here. And you can see for a moment there he hit the wall again, which means there must be some problem with the waypoint at this point. And we hit the wall as well in the casino on lap 3. Thankfully no damage, so we can just continue. And Schumacher is starting to stay behind, probably due to the damage. I mean, I can imagine if he hits the wall every time. And as you can see on lap 4, Schumacher is out of the race, and we're just lapping one of the I don't know what car that was. I think it's one of the Pacifics. And he fights back. He actually fights back. Well, not for long, but he still tried. And at this point I'm just trying to go really easy. And Herbert takes second place for now. And at the end of lap 4, we're about to overtake lap 1 of the 40s, who goes out to the pits, probably with a missing front wing, as by this time quite a lot of the AI drivers did. And we're about to catch up with another one. That's the other 40. So yeah, at this point things just went completely out of hand, and a lot of accidents due to the waypoint issues. As you can see in the title, that's what I meant by AI sabotage, that the waypoint just basically messed up the entire race, and instead of making it even remotely exciting, it just turned into a catastrophe. I mean, even the original game does some crazy things on Monaco, like the best result I had there was like 6 cars finishing or something like that. But yeah, this is just out of hand. And another yellow flag here after the tunnel, because one of the Jordans is in the wall. And in lap 11, there's still a couple of us in the race, and Verstappen is actually on P2 for whatever reason. And we just go into the pits for a fresh set of tires, and here you can see all the DNFs in the world. And again, for some reason, we're doing the pit stop in front of the Benetton garage, which is cool, I guess. So here we go back into the race, or what's left of it. You can see there's not many of us left on the track by this time, and we're not even halfway through the race. Verstappen behind us with more than 30 seconds. So that shows the AI competence on this track. And if you paid attention, Jos Verstappen is actually about to get out of the race as well, and we're about to catch up with another back marker. Was just right there in the corner, so we just chase after him and see who that might be. And yes, at this point Verstappen is out of the race, so our teammate had a chance for a good result, but it didn't really work out. So now it's us in the only remaining Simtech, and here you can see lap 15. We're about to catch up with Mansell, who is on P2, and here you can see the other part where the waypoint is slightly buggy and it just damages the AI cars, and now we lapped Mansell as well in the second place. So yeah, at this point there has really not been many of us left, and we just come out for another pit stop because, well, we can. And at this point I just really didn't care about this race anymore. As you can see, I don't even have the pit limiter on, so I just go straight ahead of the box and get a stop and go penalty. So yeah, I kinda gave up on this race. And at the end of the lap we come back to do the stop and go. Again, not caring much what the result's gonna be, because it's only 3 or 4 of us left by this time in the race, and it's still only lap 21. So Mansell is still more than a minute ahead, well, less than a minute. So not a good result, not a good race, absolutely a nightmare. And here on end of lap 23, you can see Mansell is out of the race, and at this point I wasn't even sure if there is anyone left at all, because short before that in the Rascas there was another message that said Brundle is out of the race, which means that if there was 3 of us, then it's only us by this time. So we're just going alone in the nothingness and just wait for something to happen. Here we hit the wall again. However, the car still doesn't have a lot of damage. At least you can't feel it on the controls, so it's not too bad. And despite the damage is on 100%, I still didn't lose a front wing or damage the suspension, which is pretty good, I guess. And here we are out of the tunnel onto the chicane. And at this point I was just waiting to see if there is anyone left to catch up with Mansell to take his position, to see if anyone at all is still on the track, because I haven't seen anyone for the entire lap, so no lappings, no nothing, no messages about anyone being out of the race, so I was fairly convinced that we're the only one left on the track right now. So I decided to go for another lap to see maybe I was wrong or someone is just so far behind that it needs a while to catch up with Mansell, like lap behind him even, because until that lap gets taken back, it will show Mansell as the next car behind me, even if he's out of the race. And here you can see Pedro Lamy, the only one left, 2 laps behind on P2. So he finally overtook Mansell. Well, overtook, he's out of the race, so there's not much you can do at this point. So yeah, we were just going about to the end of this lap, and well, not even sure if he's gonna finish this lap. I mean, he's been 2 laps behind, which means he's been to the pits a couple of times with broken front wing. I actually had a couple of messages about him entering the pits or losing front wing. It's actually a wonder that that's the only thing he lost so far in the race, and not a wheel or two or something. But yeah, it's actually a great job from him to survive this long in a Minardi. And who would have thought that it's gonna be a Minardi? And here we come at the end of lap 25, and we just come out to the pits again, but this time we give up the race. This is it. It's a massive disappointment, really too bad, so let's just pretend that this race didn't happen. And GG's to Lamy for actually finishing first. So thank you very much for watching. Here you can have a look at the standings. Not much of a change apart from Minardi getting in a few points. So I'll see you at the next race in Canada. Goodbye.